CEO Ronald Hickman from Creating the Difference. Today we're going to talk about goat balls. Now, you may be going, what's a goat ball? So hopefully Chris will pull up a graphic that will show you what a goat is, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the greatest of all time bowling balls, and this Storm IQ Tour is one of them. The IQ Tour features the C3 centripetal control core. The RG is 2.49. The differential is 0.029. The cover is Storm's quintessential good cover stock, R2S. This ball scanned at 4,000 grit, which is the finish it's supposed to be at. The oil absorption rate is fast. That's going to matter. I'll tell you why in a bit. The layout is our standard 55 by 4.5 by 30. The hardness is 75. And one of the best parts of this bowling ball is the smell is apple crisp. Delicious. That's not apple pie. If you don't know the difference, go Google it. Now, one of the things that I want to talk to you specifically about is what makes this particular bowling ball a goat ball. Well, there's a lot of criteria that I would like to use to help you understand why this ball is considered a goat ball. One of those criteria is how long it's been around. This bowling ball will be 12 years old this year. That's pretty old for a bowling ball. Most bowling balls last 3 to 6 months at the most. So a bowling ball that's lasted 12 years definitely has some staying power to it. One of the reasons why this ball could be considered a goat ball is because it's great to read the pattern with. So we're going to throw some shots and talk a little bit about that. The ball motion is continuous. Continuous is one of the most popular ball motions to be able to be used by lots of styles of play and be able to give you a predictable motion. One of the other things that's probably not talked about is the color. This is a one color ball, and you say, why does that matter? The one color ball is going to give you a little more consistency in terms of how the bowling ball is manufactured. Also, the ball's finished at 4,000 grit, but stable, or where the finish will no longer change, is 4,700. So with this ball being 4,000, it won't take very long for it to get to 4,700, and once it gets there, it's going to stay there, which again is going to add to the consistency. The best part of it is this ball is very easily adjustable from a surface standpoint, so if you throw it harder or you throw it slower, or you're two-handed or you're one-handed or you're whatever, you can adjust the surface and get this bowling ball to probably fit your game. So let's throw some shots. Let's talk a little bit about why this ball is a goat ball. All right, so this is a brand new one, and I actually haven't thrown it at all. I have no pins, so that's fine. We will throw our first shot. Yeah, that would have struck. It would have struck. We're going to do several different things to really kind of illustrate what this ball is all about. Now, I know some of you may go, well, wait a minute, what about Brunswick balls? What about Motive balls? Well, don't worry, we'll do one of them too, but I had to start somewhere, and this is a great place to start. Ooh, close. All right. So one of the things that makes this ball so good is the ability to kind of read the pattern, right? It's going to be a nice, consistent, smooth type performance, and that's good when you don't know what you're bowling on. So I'm going to make a 1-and-1. One with my feet, one with my eyes. That should be just what we need to get the ball in the pocket and strike. Like that. So it's a very readable, consistent, and predictable ball. And that's one of the things that makes it universally appealing to lots of styles of play. You're not going to stand up today. So same kind of concept here, right? So like a continuous ball is going to make the shape more in the middle portion of the lane, and then once it makes the shape, it will keep going all the way through the pins. That type of ball motion is very easy to read, and because it's very easy to read, it allows you to play different parts of the lane. So now I'm actually going to move a little bit. All right, so I'm going to move left, and we're going to kind of tighten the line up on purpose. I'll back my hand out a little bit because the shape doesn't change. It's just going to be still more in the mid lane and continuous, and it'll be less hook. So What that means is if you're a straighter player, you can still get a consistent, predictable, readable ball motion, which now means it works for, you know, a middle range player, rev rate, and then a lower rev rate or straighter player. So now I'm going to attempt to move in. I'll have to slow it down to get it to hook a lot, but I'll attempt to do more, much of a more stronger, higher rev rate type player. I really can't create a whole lot of super revs. I'm just not good like that, but I can slow it down to make the ball hook. It didn't strike, but it definitely hooked a lot, and you can still see it, right? It's still the exact same right kind of shape, what we're talking about here. And that's part of the allure, right? It doesn't matter if you're in the middle or if you hook it a lot or you don't hook it a lot, it's the consistent shape. And not all balls do that. Like most bowling balls don't do that. Most bowling balls tend to kind of favor one shape or another or one lane condition over another, but this ball is not like that. We'll go back to where we know it'll strike. So the predictability of it, like I said, but another thing is, like when you're throwing a bowling ball and you want to create some room for error, you have to have a bowling ball that doesn't over push past the spot or read too quick. It's got to do it right in the middle portion of the lane. If it does that, you can have some room in and some room out. This ball, because it's a low RG ball, because it's a lower differential ball, because it's R2S and that cover stock really is good at being able to do that, allows this ball to be very, very powerful when it comes to creating some room for error. By the way, 029 differential is dead in the middle of the spec. The spec is 0 to 60, so it's almost 30, which means it's actually kind of a lower flaring ball, but that in this particular case leads to it being very predictable. So to illustrate some of what I'm saying when I say room for error, I'm gonna cut the lights off and we're gonna bowl a little bit in the dark. You can see there, those two shots were pretty close to each other. Both of them obviously struck, but I'm gonna throw some more shots and just kind of show you when I say creates room for error, like what does that mean, right? So that one was in a little bit more to start and out a little bit more at the break point, but still able to strike, same result. In, out, strike. So that's what I mean, like I'm able to move on the lane here. It's a house shot, but in moving, I'm still able to get the same shape. That's part of the reason why this ball's a goat ball. You can miss, you can move and still be able to create the same shape. And because the shape is so strong, where it needs to be, middle portion of the lane, you're able to strike still. Another line, another strike. Now, remember I mentioned, I said the ball's 4,000 out the box and it will get to stable pretty quick. So what does that mean? Well, I haven't thrown a whole lot of shots here, but we are gonna wipe the ball off and I'm gonna scan it really quick. I want you to see the surface grit. So I'm gonna scan the ball here and let you see that or check it. So you can see it's stable. And you say, well, what does that mean? Stable is 4,700 grit. 4,700 grit is what all bowling balls get to. When bowling balls get to that grit, they no longer change the surface. So that's another way that this ball can create some consistency, right? The surface isn't changing. So the surface isn't changing, you're gonna be able to, the lane's changing obviously, but because the surface isn't changing, that's one less variable you have to consider. And part of the reason that this bowling ball is so universally accepted as a very, very good ball. Another line, another strike. So you say, well, what does that mean for me, or what does that mean for you as the consumer? So a couple things there, right? So unless you are on somebody else's staff, honestly, you should have one of these balls in your bag. I can tell you, when I designed bowling balls a long time ago, one of the balls at a point in time that we were chasing at Edinburgh International was an IQ Tour, because it's a good bowling ball. So if you don't have an IQ Tour in your bag and you're not affiliated with another ball company, there's not a real good reason you shouldn't at least try one of these bowling balls. Like I said, it's a great bowling ball. It's been around for a very long time. There's no indication that they're going to discontinue it anytime soon. And the simple fact is, better bowling balls give you a little more room on the lane, and when you miss with your release or your ball speed or your angle, your launch angle, still be able to get a strike. That's what this game's all about, right? We're not playing how you get strikes, we're playing how many strikes you get. So now you have more information about this. You can get this bowling ball at our website at ctdbowling.com. Also, you know what? Tell us what you think a goat ball is. Maybe what we'll do is look through the comments and we'll find somebody that agrees, or find a bowling ball that we think, yeah, we agree with you on that. Let's get one of those in and let's go try it too. So let us know what you think a goat bowling ball is, and maybe we'll put it in one of these goat bowling ball reviews. On behalf of Creating the Difference, I am CEO Ronald Hickman. Talk to you soon.